But to walk out onto the floor before a game with no shirt on and start shooting? Come on, man. Isiah Thomas didn't just critique LeBron. He went straight into attack mode. And in doing so, he may have accidentally exposed the real reason so many NBA legends and current players seem to have a problem with the king. Is it jealousy, legacy friction, or something far more personal? Let's break down the shot Thomas just fired and why LeBron might be the most respected and the most resented star in the league. Isiah Thomas's comments and LeBron's professional image go hand in hand here. Love him or hate him, there's no denying King James has been a polarizing force throughout his entire career. And recently, Hall of Famer Isiah Thomas poured gasoline on that fire with sharp criticism of LeBron's pregame routine. Before we dive into what Thomas said, we need the scene in full. It's April 11th, 2025, and the Los Angeles Lakers are gearing up to face the Houston Rockets. LeBron James, now deep into his 22nd NBA season, is out on the court warming up. But one detail instantly grabbed the attention of NBA TV analyst Isiah Thomas. LeBron was doing his routine shirtless. To most fans, it might seem like a harmless moment, but Thomas, a Detroit Pistons icon and two-time NBA champion, had very strong feelings about what he saw live on air. Thomas didn't soften his tone for a second. Second part of our doubleheader tonight. LeBron James going to play the game like this. Shirts and skins is what they're doing in LA. I just totally, 100% object to this. If I was the GM or coach, I would never let one of my players walk out on the floor looking like this. And Thomas wasn't done. He pushed the criticism further, calling it a sign of slipping professionalism across the league. I mean, we are a professional NBA league. We ain't Summer League. We ain't, at the YMCA. Listen, I think coaches gotta go back to suits. Absolutely. I just think college and pro, the professionalism in our NBA has diminished so much. Clearly frustrated, Thomas kept pressing the same point. And look, I like LeBron. I'm a fan of his, and so on. But to walk out on the floor before a game with no shirt on and shoot? Come on, man. Where are we at? What are we doing? He even went as far as suggesting Commissioner Adam Silver step in. Adam Silver, if you want to find somebody, find that. Put a fine on that, Thomas said, doubling down as the greatest player in Pistons history. But before rushing to conclusions, it's important to understand the deeper context. Thomas's comments weren't rooted in personal beef. They came from his broader concern about how the NBA presents itself on a global stage. In his eyes, LeBron going shirtless wasn't about LeBron. It symbolized what he sees as a growing lack of professionalism in today's league. So, how did LeBron respond? The next day, April 12th, 2025, James addressed the situation indirectly through a brief post on X. Man, I was going to say something, but it's useless at this point in my career. Instead of firing back at Thomas, LeBron shifted his attention to congratulating teammate JJ Redick on his season. That decision speaks volumes. Rather than engage in a public argument, LeBron brushed off the criticism as irrelevant to him at this stage. It shows he's aware of the constant noise around his name and chooses carefully when and how to respond. What makes this whole dynamic even more fascinating is the actual history between these two legends. Despite Thomas's sharp critique, he and LeBron have shared a positive rapport for years. LeBron has even said he has a closer personal relationship with Isiah than with Magic Johnson. Surprising, considering his Laker ties. And Thomas hasn't been shy about praising LeBron. In August 2024, he called LeBron the best player in NBA history, praising his statistical dominance across scoring, rebounding, and assists. Back in 2020, Thomas even labeled LeBron the Einstein of basketball, highlighting his unmatched IQ. So why would Isiah Thomas publicly criticize a player he respects and has praised repeatedly? To answer that, we have to zoom out and look at the repeated patterns of criticism that have surrounded LeBron throughout his entire career. A deeper dive shows that the dislike toward LeBron often comes from several core sources. First, his career decisions, especially his blockbuster move from Cleveland to Miami in 2010, famously known as The Decision. That televised moment changed everything. I'm taking my talents to South Beach. The reaction was instant and explosive. Cleveland fans felt completely betrayed. With some even, LeBron James' career has been defined by both brilliance and controversy, fueling admiration and resentment alike. In 2010, After 7 seasons with the Cleveland Cavaliers, he became an unrestricted free agent, sparking anticipation for his next move. Instead of a simple press release, LeBron chose a live ESPN special, The Decision, to announce his move to Miami to join Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, a choice widely criticized as ring-chasing and prioritizing personal glory over hometown loyalty. Fans in Cleveland felt betrayed, burning jerseys in protest, while Cavaliers owner Dan Gilbert called him a cowardly betrayer in an open letter, and NBA legends Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson criticized the move as disrespectful. The controversy was compounded by the televised special, which teams reportedly learned about only moments before, and by a premature Miami rally declaring the Three Kings had arrived to win championships, cementing perceptions of arrogance. LeBron embraced a villain role, but he also craved adoration, and after winning 2 championships in Miami, he returned to Cleveland in 2014 to fulfill the promise of a homecoming, culminating in the 2016 Finals comeback from a 3-1 deficit against Golden State. Even that triumph was complicated, as his one-year contracts and control over roster decisions earned him the nickname Le GM, with some moves praised, like trading for Kevin Love, and others criticized as favoritism toward friends, like Tristan Thompson's contract, ultimately pushing Kyrie Irving to request a trade. Alongside career decisions, LeBron's public persona, King James, on-court antics, post-game comments, and high-profile rivalries fueled perceptions of arrogance. Examples include dancing along the baseline during a 2011 game against Chicago, being called overrated by Deshaun Stevenson, Lance Stevenson blowing in his ear during a playoff game, Paul Pierce mocking him on social media, Joakim Noah criticizing his celebrations, and Draymond Green's infamous finals altercation, all reflecting frustration from players over LeBron's perceived privileges, from favorable calls to media saturation. Indeed, the constant attention, highlighted by Paul Pierce's ESPN complaints and LeBron's cultural influence through Spring Hill Entertainment and Space Jam, a new legacy, magnified scrutiny. His 2018 move to the Los Angeles Lakers reinforced the image of brand building over loyalty, influencing roster decisions and acquiring stars like Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook, maintaining the LGM label. From his departures and career decisions to player feuds, media dominance, and on-court persona, all factors intertwine to explain why LeBron remains one of the most celebrated and simultaneously polarizing figures in NBA history. Revered for his genius and success, yet resented for the manner in which he pursued and exerted it. LeBron James' complex and often polarizing reputation in the NBA stems not only from his career decisions, perceived arrogance, influence over teams, and rivalries with fellow players, but also from his increasingly vocal stance on social and political issues. While his advocacy for social justice, such as opening the I Promise School in Akron, Ohio, in 2018 to support at-risk children, has been widely praised, his commentary has also sparked controversy and accusations of selective activism, often linked to business interests like his lucrative Nike partnership. Notable incidents include his 2019 criticism of Daryl Morey's pro-Hong Kong tweet, which drew a backlash from China and accusations of prioritizing financial over human rights concerns, leading to jersey burnings reminiscent of the Cleveland decision outrage. His 2021 deleted tweet about the police shooting of Ma'Khia Bryant, which he later clarified and contextualized. His 2022 comments on Brittany Griner's detention in Russia, criticized as unpatriotic by some, and his questioning of media treatment regarding a 1957 photo of Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones compared to Kyrie Irving's controversial documentary. These incidents, combined with on-court decisions, feuds with players like Paul Pierce, Lance Stevenson, Draymond Green, Deshaun Stevenson, and Joakim Noah, and his media omnipresence, have contributed to the perception of LeBron as a polarizing figure. Yet despite criticism, his achievements are undeniable, earning respect from many within basketball circles. Isiah Thomas, for instance, despite recent criticism of LeBron's shirtless pre-game warm-up, has previously praised him as the best player in NBA history and dubbed him the Einstein of basketball for his genius-level IQ. Thomas's recent comments reflect his perspective on professionalism rather than personal animosity, separating admiration for LeBron's skill from concerns over image. Ultimately, the strong feelings surrounding LeBron are multifaceted, encompassing his career moves, perceived arrogance, media dominance, rivalries, and selective activism. Despite this scrutiny and occasional backlash, LeBron has continued to evolve, embracing a villainous role in Miami, a redemptive homecoming in Cleveland, and now serving as an elder statesman in Los Angeles, demonstrating adaptability, growth, and a nuanced understanding of his public and professional legacy. Isiah Thomas's comments, while critical of LeBron's shirtless warm-up, were ultimately dismissed by LeBron as irrelevant at this stage of his career, demonstrating a maturity and selectiveness in addressing criticism that perhaps wasn't present earlier in his journey. Rather than engaging in a public dispute, LeBron chose to celebrate his teammates' accomplishments, signaling that he now carefully considers which criticisms warrant a response. This incident also highlights the generational differences in basketball. At 40 years old and in his 22nd season, LeBron operates in a league that is far more player-driven and expressive than the NBA of Thomas's era, when coaches wore suits, players adhered to strict decorum, and Commissioner David Stern tightly managed the league's image. What might seem unprofessional to someone from Thomas's generation, like a shirtless warm-up, is often accepted by contemporary standards, illustrating why older figures sometimes clash with today's stars. Moreover, the criticism LeBron faces isn't universal among former players. Legends such as Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and even Thomas himself have repeatedly acknowledged his skills and achievements. This reflects the diversity of opinions surrounding any prominent figure and underscores that LeBron's influence goes far beyond basketball. Whether seen as the GOAT, a calculated career strategist, or a social justice advocate, LeBron matters. His decisions, statements, and actions impact teams, cities, and culture at large. In the end, the criticism, including Thomas's recent remarks, is the inevitable consequence of his transformative role, not just in basketball, but in American culture.